主解放存公正苦毒上来集中説法ししく供養一切物具足習徳音金質上満得意三害用両仏無下地津脱未不詳科学エリック投資最小村シガニャコカ大勢の感動国書天人東内妙見生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ生ダブ観にしく徳平等正祭東本も大神お量あんだナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツ
We will now listen to Dharma message by Reverend Candace Shibata.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. How many of you are wearing your name badges? Yay! Yay! So I actually, I didn't need these originally. I got these cute little badge reels. Mine is a gumball with little gumballs inside. So it's really encouraging me to wear my name badge. So please do that as we encourage everybody to continue to get to know each other, and especially as our new friends join us from the community as well. So what is today? Do you know what today is? May the 4th be with you. Yes, thank you. And so I have to, maybe this is a tradition for me each year, and I have to give a shout out to Devin Akiyama. He was one of my Dharma school students from Florin, the Buddhist Church of Florin, and he knew I was a huge Star Wars fan. So if you don't know the May 4th be with you, it's from Star Wars. And so may the Dharma be with you. This is from Devin Akiyama. And so, of course, I have to talk about Star Wars today in both of my messages, so I apologize for our Shotsuke families too, but I am linking it to Shotsuke. So again, may the Dharma be with you today and every day. So how many of you watch Star Wars, or at least some of the Star Wars? Okay, yay. Okay. So hopefully it'll make sense. So, of course, it's a fun story or a series of movies about heroes and spaceships and lightsabers, but it also can teach us something really important, and how to deal with different emotions and feelings that we have as human beings, especially anger. So let's talk about Darth Vader. Everybody is familiar with Darth Vader? Okay, so if you follow the Star Wars series or the movies, he wasn't always a scary villain. He used to be a kind Jedi named Anakin Skywalker. But what happened? He got really angry. He was angry about losing people that he loved, and he was afraid. And instead of talking those feelings or really asking for help, he let this anger really grow inside of him. And that anger turned into hate. And that hate led him to the dark side. So when Anakin Skywalker became dark, it was because he let his anger and his fear take over. And he was angry and afraid again of losing people that he loved. And who was one person that he was afraid of losing? Do you remember? Did you say? Uh-huh, Padme. Yeah, uh-huh. But who was the other person he was scared of losing? His mom. His mom. He was really scared of losing his mom too. The emperor told him that the only way to stop his pain was to use or turn to the dark side. Anakin started hurting others. He even fought his best friend, Kenobi, and he turned against the Jedi who raised him. That anger made him feel very, very powerful for a while, but deep inside, he was very sad and very lonely. So many years, Darth Vader did terrible things because he thought it was really too late to change. But then something special happened. He met his son, Luke Skywalker. Luke believed there was still good in his father. Even when Darth Vader didn't believe it himself, he always said, there's still good in him. There's still good in him. And Luke didn't fight with hate. He stayed calm and kind and loving and hopeful, even when Darth Vader was very, very angry. And even realizing when Luke Skywalker was his son, he was still very angry and wanting to use the dark side. So do you recall at the end of Return of the Jedi, which is one of my favorites, the Emperor tried to hurt Luke with like lightning, and that moment was when Darth Vader kind of made this turning of heart and turning of mind, and he made a choice, and he remembered love, he remembered compassion, and he chose to protect his son. He lifted the emperor up and threw him down. Didn't he like kind of throw him down or throw him over? And he saved his son. But this actually cost him his life. That was when the moment Vader returned back to the light. And he wasn't perfect, of course, but he showed that it was never too late to choose kindness and love and compassion. So, of course, in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we learn that, of course, everybody has different feelings, anger included, and that's perfectly okay. Even the Buddha understood that we all have difficult feelings to experience on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment occurrence. But the important part is what we actually do with those feelings. So Shinran Shonin, who is, of course, the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, reminded us that we're all imperfect. We're all imperfectly perfect, just the way that we are. And we'll continue to make mistakes. We can learn from them, but of course, again, we're human and we'll continue to make mistakes. But no matter what we do with those mistakes, if we turn them around and use them as tools to learn, I think that's what we can do. And even Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion are always with us, even when we stumble. Even when we feel like Darth Vader, there's still light in us at all times. There's still kindness and light and goodness. So maybe the next time when you feel like you're going to burst with anger, you're going to blow up like a little volcano, take a deep breath. I know I have to do that myself as well. Remember that we're not alone in this world. Maybe talk to a friend or a loved one or a teacher. And think about Amida Buddha's light, which accepts you just as you are and helps you to grow kinder and stronger as well. So let's all try to be like the Jedi, full of light and hope, and not necessarily like the Sith Lords who want to hurt others with anger. And remember that even Darth Vader found his way back to this light in the end. And that means that all of us can do that too. Again, whether that's maybe the next day or the next minute, the next second, we all have a choice to be able to turn that anger around into something really kind and beautiful. So again, in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, this reminds us of Amida Buddha's great compassion. No matter how lost we feel, we're never outside of this great, beautiful light. And even Darth Vader, after everything, was embraced by love in the end, and he understood that, especially coming from his son. So please join me in Gassho to conclude my Dharma message. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Okay, we will now continue with birthdays for May. As your name is called, please come up and burn incense, receive your cupcake, and have your candle lit by Sensei. Unfortunately, there are no Dharma School students with birthdays in May. But if we missed you, please come up and receive your cupcake. Are there any students? Okay. Here are the birthdays for May for adults. Meiko Harita, Keith Naishi, Rick Naishi, Kelsey Hayashi, Lester Sterling, Mina Hota, Alex Sakata, Reverend Motoyoshi. Is there anybody else with birthdays in May, since we have nobody up here yet? Okay, well, thank you very much to Teacher Peggy for making the cupcakes.
Okay, in order for that microphone to pick it up, y'all have to sing loud, okay? Okay, good morning. Now we have announcements, which will involve more people we had birthdays for today. So, don't forget, Sangha Fellowship is going strong. It's an attempt to bring our Sangha together by having fun. So meet in the gym today and on May 18th after service until 2 p.m. And also today there will be, Taiko Dharma Friends, or Dharma Friends Taiko session at 11:30. During the Sangha Fellowship. So if you are invited, no experience necessary, to come learn about playing the taiko drums. So join us for our Gotanya service, May 18th. This is also Parents' Day. You're hosted to a luncheon by the Dharma School and YBA students. Our guest speaker is a surprise. We don't know yet. So you have to come to find out, May 18th, okay? This will also be Hatsumairi. And so if you have somebody young in the family or a friend that would like to be introduced to the Dharma, please look in the Karma. I believe there's a form, and then also you can contact the temple office. Reverend Candace's book club, online book club, meets again on May 28th at 6:30 p.m. Please contact Reverend Candace if you're interested. Temple scholarships, deadline for applications is May 16th. This is a very lucrative scholarship program, so please encourage not only your high school graduating students, but your college students also to apply. There will be no service on May 25th due to the JACL picnic, but we have something you could do instead. Well, actually, you have to do it before then. YBA is having their Double Good virtual fundraiser May 16th through the 20th. Everybody eats popcorn. They have tons of flavors. This is a raising program to keep the youth involved and having fun. So please, there is a flyer in the Karma. There's also one posted in the office. So please participate and support our YBA, our Young Buddhist Association. Don't forget, if you have birthdays, there are a lot of people born in June. You can buy gift cards from the temple. The order forms, I believe, are in the foyer. This is a year-round program, so plan ahead for the holidays, and please support our temple as well. Oh, Reverend Candace says we have them on hand in the office, so you can always contact Nicole and purchase directly from her. Cans and plastic bottles, we're still helping the environment, so don't forget to bring those and put them in the white bins under the carport. Your Young Buddhist Association is the one that is taking care of recycling those for you. And then we have two people with announcements. So first, Debbie.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to put in a little plug for the community garden. If you look out there, Stan Oshta and his family are busy building one of the boxes, the raised garden boxes today, and there is one already built. So I'd like to see what they're going to look like. We're out there to the corner of the parking lot and take a look. They're beautiful. They're beautifully made. As soon as all of them will bring dirt and start the party. Brought in a good 50+ plants today from Ann and Alan Osugi, from Cortez, who every year they put in a big garden. We were doing this so they donate to our art. So it's well underway. I am going to say, however, that it's a community garden. That means all of us get to benefit from it, but that also means that we're all kind of required to help tend and maintain it as well. So this is not a Brian and Sachi project, and we just get to pick and enjoy the produce. So once it goes in, if everyone can take a minute and go out there and pull a few weeds, and when the produce starts coming in, of course, you're welcome to help yourself. Now, the difficult part is that when the fruit and the vegetables start to come in, Dharma school will be over, and so we won't be meeting on a regular basis. The office is still open. We have regular hours, so you can come in, pick, enjoy all the produce, but if we can, ask all of you to come in and do your little part during the summer, that would really help. Now, this next week, Brian plans to have his crew out building the boxes, and so they can use some help. So I think he plans to be here in the mornings until about 11 o'clock, 11:30. So if you have a minute to come in and just help, and maybe you're not the one that's drilling putting in the screws, but you can help just move the screws along, pick up the boards, help them hold the boards, that kind of thing. That would be a great help, and the faster we get these built, the faster the plants can go in, okay? So thank you very much.
Before we get to the last announcement, I forgot I brought a bag of panko. Actually, I have 2 cases of panko. And what this is the Southern District BWA, Buddhist Women's Association, is the host for their 2026 conference. And as you can imagine, with everything going up so expensively, to have it in a hotel is really exorbitant. So they are selling panko, and this panko you cannot buy in stores. This is what they told me. It's really good. You can't buy it in stores. It's $3 a bag. So I have 2 cases. If you would like to buy one, I have them here. We'll go until they're gone, but this will support it in a way supports our Buddhist Women's Association because it's going to help defray the cost of the conference so that more people can afford to attend. So panko, $3 a bag, really good, can't buy it in a store. So, and I believe there is a BWA meeting. Our BWA will meet at 11:30 following the Shotsuke service. So if you have noticed, we've had a row of college students that have been attending on a regular basis, and we want to thank you all for coming. We have enjoyed you participating in our Sangha, and one of them would like to address all of you. So if Minami would come up.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Minami, and I'm originally from the San Mateo Buddhist Temple, but I've been lucky enough to be part of the Buddhist Church of Stockton Sangha for the past 2 years while I've been a student here at UOP. During this time, I was a Dharma school teacher for grades 1 through 4 and a part of the Stockton Bukkyo Taiko Rec group. Sadly, today is my last day as I will be graduating next Saturday with my bachelor's in art in health and exercise science. I'll return back to San Mateo and hope to eventually obtain my certificate to work as an occupational therapy assistant. I wanted to thank Ruby for driving me to Temple every Sunday, Candy for letting me help her in the classroom, and Chris for taking me to Taiko on Mondays. I also appreciate Reverend Candace, Darlene, Carrie, Mike, and all the teachers and the Sangha for welcoming me with open arms and allowing me to be part of this close-knit Sangha. I've made many wonderful memories these past 2 years, and I'm forever grateful and will always think of the Sangha as a second home. I hope to come back and visit when I'm in town. I'll miss you all and wish you all the best. And thank you very much.
So thank you, Yuko, and Yuko. I keep calling you her mom. That's her mother's name. I keep calling her Yuko, Minami, and you're always welcome to come back. And we can always visit her. There's kind of a connection. So we work game booths. We work game booths, the fish booths for a long time. Her parents run the game booths for San Mateo Buddhist Church. So we've gone over there to check it out. So that's like this last Saturday in June, yeah? So we can all go crash her party. Last Saturday in June in San Mateo. So the weather's much cooler than our bazaar. Do we have any other announcements? If not, students are dismissed to class. Please use good etiquette on Oshoko if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Shotsuke service will follow this service. Oh, okay. Oh, so they're all meeting the mini chapel? Okay. So I've been informed, Minami is actually going to do a Nenju making workshop, right? So if all the kids could go to the mini chapel, correct? And then they'll have their workshop, and you'll have your workshop in the mini chapel. Thank you.
want me to get it now? Oh, that's okay. Okay. It's in the closet where the vacuums are. Yeah, I gave it to my dad. Yeah. My dad has it. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for attending. Again, I always have to like poke fun. Like nobody likes to sit up front. Everybody likes to sit in the back. But that's okay. That's okay. But I'm glad that you're here. No pressure. You don't have to sit in front. But thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you, Reverend Motoyoshi. Join me. What a good student. No, well, mentor. But thank you. And again, I always say this each month that, again, we're here for Shotsuke, and each month seems to go by faster and faster, or each year seems to go by faster and faster. But perhaps that's not the feeling, especially when we miss our loved ones. So this specific service allows us to turn our hearts and minds to our loved ones, all of our loved ones, of course, but especially those who have passed away in the month of May. So what we'll do to begin, we'll chant Sambujo. Sambujo is called Three Respectful Callings, and we call it, of course, Amida Buddha, the historical Shakyamuni Buddha, and the Buddhas of the 10 directions, which includes all of our friends and loved ones who have passed away, and we joyfully welcome them to be with us. This will be followed by the Hyobyakumon, or the dedication or declaration of our gathering, and of course the reading of the Shotsuke Monthly Memorial Service names for May. So Sambujo can be found on the inside front cover of the service book. We are gathered today to observe our Shotsuke monthly memorial service. This is our monthly service to remember friends and loved ones who have passed away in the month of May. They are Faith Sumi Arakawa, Emiko Arata, Miriam Babaoka, Nancy Tsuruko Chinen, Satoru Fujimura, Toshiko Fujishige, Ken Hamamoto, Nui Hatanaka, Kozo Hattori, Ayako Hayashi, Carol Lynn Keiko Hewitt, Mieko Higashi, Tsukino Hirano, Thomas Masaji Inamasu, Elva Kyoko Inoue, Matsunosuke Ishihara, Yoshio Itaya, Fred Masaru Ito, Setsuko Kajioka, Mary Kato, Misao Kato, Tadakazu Mike Kato, Tetsuya Kato, Lily Yuriko Kitagawa, Teruko Komore, Itsuyo Kubo, Ava Wong Kuboyama, Shoji Kuwabara, Paul Matsumoto, Wayne Patrick Mitsuda, Yai Miyai, Kaname Ben Miyamoto, Kimiko Mori, Lois Yukiko Morimoto, Kei Kifu Morita, Tsuki Moriwaki, A. Murakami, Yoshiaki Murano, Dennis Hajime Nagai, Naoko Nakaoka, Shizuma Nakaoka, Nancy Fumiko Natsuhara, Yoshio Nonaka, Iwao Oji, Jesse Hideo Oji, Mieko Oji, Asano Otsuka, Toshie Reinhardt, Michiko Mary Ryuto, Toshiko Ryuto, Deborah Saiki, Misako Saiki, Hachiro Sakai, Terry Saruwatari, Patsy Hisako Sato, Jinji Shiba, Kazu Shibata, Kiichi Kei Shiga, Yukio Shimizu, Henry Shinmoto, Hideo Bob Shinoda, Heihachi Sugimoto, Gerald Minoru Tanaka, Lillian Tanaka, Sam Tanaka, William Taniguchi, Kiyoshi Tashima, Sam Sanji Teranishi, George Masao Tomura, Kiraku Torigoe, Takako Tsunekawa, Shigemi Tsushima, Sadao Raymond Tsutsumi, Russell Rusty Tsutsumi, Sadako Ueda, Haruo Umeda, Yasuko Mary Wakai, Chiyoko Watanabe, Jim Watanabe, Keen Watanabe, Kiyoshi Watanabe, Jane Shizuko Yabumoto, Clarence Takeshi Yamada, and Marie Yamada. We realize in the cherished memories of those we love and have lost, the impermanence of all the world is revealed. May the fragrance of the incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of life's impermanence. May the lights that burn brightly on the altar lead our thoughts to Amida Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion. Please join me in Gasho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. We'll continue the service with the chanting of Sambutsuge, and Sambutsuge can be found on starting on page 82. And of course, I welcome everybody to come forward during the sutra chanting to offer incense. Namanda
「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ」「お元気ぎぎ
聖無輪小学大音コルジポ大門精進三昧智恵一徳無量主生慶無人体前年小仏王会愚人寺の空語外体無明欲ぬ世尊読む二の四子人徳無量空君古代知恵寿命光明一層神道大仙観が差仏最小可動生じ未不下脱不正上位解任精進如税三昧知恵以上公正徳仏不行志願一切空空一切大安慶始無仏百千億万無量大小修行五者空一切し小仏不尿愚道検証不逆非尿五者小仏正解不不加減不修節道光明師匠変師小国如税精進偉人難量量が差仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国如内音二無闘争ガト愛民道達一切自母大小心熱症状意図が国慶楽和音古仏神妙聖が神書発願の日力小小欲自母生存知恵無限浄土子孫 自我心行けど心死食毒中家業精進忍術福建ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等生産道本も大一心おあんNamandavts, namandavts, 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 namandavts. Okay, so thank you for joining along in the sutra chanting. We will now sing the gatha or song Tsuicho no Uta verses 1 and 2, and this can be found on page 222 in our service book. This will be followed by the recitation of the three treasures, which can be found on page 2. Please stand if it's comfortable for you to do so. If it's more comfortable for you to remain seated, go ahead and remain seated. I'd like to first share the translation of Tsuicho no uta. Though you are gone to the Pure Land, my thoughts are of you. Longing to see your face, it floats before me when I intone the Buddha's name. Beneath the spring flowers or in a garden of insect, hogging your, I rejoice in Oyasama's compassion as I long for you. Namandavats, namandavats. Okay. 3 treasures, which can be found on page 2. 3 treasures. Hard is it to be born into life, now it. Difficult teachings of the Blessed One, now hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take 3 treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandavats, namandavats, namandavats. You may be seated. Okay, so at this time, it's my honor to be able to deliver today's Shotsuke Dharma message. And again, thank you so much for being here today. So as I mentioned, I'm not sure if all of you were here during the children's service, our Sunday Dharma service, but today is May 4th. And again, how many of you are Star Wars fans? Okay, thank you again for being Star Wars fans. And again, I have to give my shout out to my previous student, Devin Akiyama of the Buddhist Church of Florin. So may the Dharma be with you. So we say may the Force be with you, or May 4th for you Star Wars fans. So may the Dharma be with you. And so we want this to be every day, not just May 4th. But oddly enough, I'll be talking about Star Wars and our Shotsuke monthly memorial service. So again, some of you might know that I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan. And if you're not, don't worry. I promise this isn't a talk about lightsabers or galactic politics. What Star Wars really does, though, is to tell human stories. And it shows us deep emotions. These movies have themes of love and fear and anger and especially grief. And there's something universal about these stories. I believe even though they might be millions or I don't know how many years from here, they truly reflect our own stories as well, especially as we gather for this month's monthly memorial service. One of the most moving moments in Star Wars comes when characters face loss. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he was a Jedi, watches Anakin Skywalker. He met him when he was very little, saw a gift in him. And Anakin Skywalker was his student, later to become like a fellow brother. And Anakin Skywalker, who we later know became Darth Vader, falls into deep darkness. Even Princess Leia, she faced loss as she lost her entire home planet. Luke Skywalker, who is Darth Vader's son, grieves the death of his aunt and uncle and later his father. And later we see another character named Rey grieving even her own identity, not understanding who she was, who her parents were, and where they were, and really grieving where she belongs in the world. So in each of these stories, grief becomes a huge part of their journey. And the characters always return to something greater than themselves, to what they call the Force. So there's the dark side, and then, of course, there's the Force. It's described as this invisible energy, binding all living beings together. Even when hope seems lost, the Force is still there, It's ever present, it's silent, but ever present, but deeply, deeply felt amongst those who believe in the Force. Now, in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we don't talk about the Force, of course, but we do talk about something very, very similar, and this is Amida Buddha's great and compassion. We speak of boundless wisdom that embraces us just as we are, without any judgment whatsoever, not because we've overcome our struggles, but because we're human beings who struggle. And one of the most difficult struggles that we face or will face in our lifetime is grief. As you know, grief touches us all. I speak very frequently about my own mother and her passing, and how her passing led to my questioning of even my own faith in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, which then later encouraged me to leave my life in Stockton and go to Berkeley to attend the Institute of Studies so I can have a better foundation of the teachings. And later that foundation then created this ministry for me. So I think even in my grief, my mother continued to give me a gift, and that was the gift of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. So the loss of a loved one, even the loss of health, the loss of a dream at a time in our lives, all of these different things are considered loss. And grief can make us feel isolated, as if we've drifted to a far-off galaxy beyond where anybody can reach us. I often describe my own grief as the ocean. It just pulled me out and continued to pull me out. And once I finally got back on shore, when I felt like, oh, okay, maybe my grief is a little bit better. Of course, there's waves that hit us out of the blue. Sometimes we don't know how to talk about our own grief. Other times we feel like we shouldn't be feeling it, or maybe we shouldn't be talking about it. Or maybe I even wonder, oh, there Reverend Shibata is talking about her grief again. And sometimes I feel a little bit self-conscious. But grief isn't something to get over. It's something we live with, and something that we learn to live with, something that becomes a deep part of who we are. What Jodo Shinshu Buddhism offers us isn't a way to remove that grief, but to walk with it, with Amida Buddha beside us, and all of that wisdom and compassion always embracing us. Shinran Shonin, our founder, didn't present himself as some perfect person either. He described himself as a foolish being full of blind passions of greed and anger and ignorant self. And I find great comfort in his honesty. Because even when he felt lost, when he didn't know what to do with all of his hours and his dedication of practicing all of these different practices, he then turned to the Nembutsu, Namu Amida Butsu, the name that calls to us and holds us and reassures us, of course, that we're never alone, even in the midst of our grief. When we say the Nembutsu, we're not asking for grief to be taken away. We're recognizing that in the depths of our sorrow, there truly is still something really beautiful. The compassion of Amida flowing to us, not because we claim that we're strong and we're over the loss of our loved one, but precisely because we are hurting and we love them so dearly and we're missing them so dearly. So there's a scene in The Last Jedi where Yoda says to Luke, the greatest teacher, failure is. So this may be true, but grief can be a powerful teacher. It teaches us about love. It teaches us about impermanence, and of course what it means to be human. In grief, we come face to face with the fact that things are always changing. But the Dharma shows us that this impermanence is not something to fear. It's something to understand deeply. As we know, impermanence teaches us that everything arises and passes, and this is really the nature of life. But in the midst of this passing world, Amida Buddha's vow remains unwavering. Come as you are. I'll never abandon you. So when we grieve, when we feel lost, or when we feel hurt, we can always return to that gentle calling, Namo Amida Butsu. And of course, we don't need to pretend like we're okay. We don't need to fix anything. We just need to be present and be honest with ourselves and listen for that deep but quiet voice of the Buddha Dharma. And again, Yoda, the Jedi, he says in The Revenge of the Sith, something that stuck with me too. And Anakin, before he becomes Darth Vader, terrified of losing somebody he loves, and he's desperate to his life. And Yoda says, death is a natural part of life. I'm not going to do the voice, but you can hear it in your head. Death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the mourn them, do not. Miss them, do not. Now, I do understand what Yoda is trying to say. He's teaching impermanence, and he's teaching about this oneness of life, a deep truth that, of course, that nothing lasts forever, that all things return to the force. But let's be honest, if someone said this to us immediately following our loved one's passing, or while, of course, when our grief is still very raw, we might not find this very comforting. And it was kind of similar to when my clinical supervisor told me, there were good things that came out of your mom's passing. And I was deeply, deeply offended. But I was able to notice gradually that this statement was true. There were wonderful things that came out of her passing. The amount of gratitude, the amount of love that had developed over the time that I noticed after she was gone. Because maybe I couldn't appreciate her or love her as much as I do now because she was right in front of me. So I understood all of the sacrifices that she made for me, everything that she did, from making my lunch to making my bed to typing some of my papers when I typed so slowly. But everything she did, the smiles and the hugs that she had given me, I wish I could have them now, but I deeply, deeply treasure those moments that I did have with her. So again, we might not find it comforting when somebody outpaces us and says, hey, don't miss them, they're with you. So again, we might not understand what we're going through, even at that moment. Because we do mourn. We do miss those who are gone. We're human beings. We form bonds. We love deeply. And of course, when that love is interrupted by death, our hearts are just broken. And here is where the Buddhist path, especially the path of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, meets us in a very different way. Jodo Shinshu Buddhism doesn't tell us not to mourn. It doesn't say, don't miss them. In fact, it begins with honesty. Shinran Shonin didn't see himself as someone who could master all of his desires or become detached from all emotion. He described himself as a foolish being, someone who felt deeply, struggled daily, and lived the middle part of samsara, right in samsara, just like all of us, in all of our suffering. But here's the key. Even in that foolishness, Amida Buddha always embraces us. When we're grieving, when hearts are raw and when they're aching, Amida's compassion is already surrounding us, without conditions and without judgment. We have to hide our sadness, pretend to be strong. In the Nembutsu, in Namu Amida Butsu, we express gratitude for this great wisdom and compassion that holds and meets us just where we're at. So again, Luke Skywalker was struggling with his failures. And remember, as I mentioned, the greatest teacher failure is. And I'll add again that grief is a great teacher too. Again, grief teaches us that we loved deeply. It teaches us the impermanence of life, and it really shows us how fragile life really is. But in this fragility, it really allows us to see how connected we truly are. So there's a difference between Star Wars and Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. In Star Wars, we often find that the Jedi, they want to overcome all of their struggles and everything that they're doing to help protect the galaxy and others. They want to overcome grief, to rise above through all of their disciplined practices. But in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we don't try to rise above grief. We walk with it, and when we walk, we know that we're not walking alone. Again, we're carried by the power of Amida Buddha's vow, a vow that says, even in the darkness of sorrow, you are not abandoned. Even when you doubt, even when you hurt, I'm with you. So we don't have to get rid of our sadness to be okay. I know this is kind of an underlying theme to my message today. We don't have to push away our pain to be quote-unquote spiritual. We can bring our whole selves, grief and sadness and anger and all of the emotions that we'll feel after the loss of a loved one, to Buddha's embrace. And in return, we're giving something beyond words, a deep peace, but maybe a little bit of acceptance too. So if you're grieving or carrying sorrow today, please know it's okay. You are not broken. You're just human. And your tears, and in your tears, Amida is already holding you. And so as we come back to the galaxy, as the stars shine in the night sky, they don't eliminate darkness, but they bring light within it. So too, Amida's compassion shines in our lives every single day. And we're not alone. And though we may carry great grief, we don't carry it by ourselves. So let us say the Nembutsu together, not to escape grief, but to rest in the warmth of infinite wisdom and compassion together. Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandawitsu. Namandawitsu. Okay, so before we conclude, shall we stand, if it's comfortable for you to do so, for Ondok-san? Shall we sing number 1? I surprised you today. And this will be followed by the Ekomon. So please stand, and this can be found again on page 194 in the service book. But please remain seated if it's more comfortable for you to do so. And let me just share the translation of Ondok-san number 1. In gratitude, the debt of gratitude I owe to Amida's great compassion, I will proclaim until my life disintegrates into dust. The debt of gratitude I owe to my Dharma teachers, I will express until my bodily form is finally shattered. Namandawitsu, namandawitsu, namandawitsu. Please join me in Gassho. May we truly reflect with gratitude and humility on that which we have been allowed to receive through the teachings of the Buddha. May we always endeavor to listen intently with our fellow beings to the summoning voice of Amida Buddha, and together as one, be born in Amida's pure land. With a radiant and boundless mind, may we each regard all living beings with loving kindness without limit. Namu Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandawitsu, namandawitsu, namandawitsu. You may be seated. Okay, so thank you again for your kind attendance today. Do we have additional announcements? Okay, Darlene has one additional announcement.
Don't forget to see me if you want panko. There's one more that we're working on, and since we have a lot of adult faces here, I think it's a good thing. June, Charles Shaw is your VP of membership, and we're trying to think of ways to add value to your membership. Even though we are think, well, what's in it for me? What do I get out of paying dues, correct? Well, we want to show you that there are people here that have knowledge, and we want to create those opportunities to share that knowledge with you. So on June 1st, we're working with Mr. Dale Mizuno and his colleague for Prudential to put on a mini workshop free of charge, and we're going to light lunch after Shotsuke service at 11:30 to kind of, for us in this room, it would be what happens when we retire and how do we best take advantage of our retirement funds. And for those younger, it's going to be when and how do I think about retiring, not give you personal financial guidance that you have to engage and have that client relationship, but we want to give you the broad spectrum. This came out of the fact that we learned from working with the BCA's Endowment Foundation that a lot of people are not really using their RMDs right, your minimum distributions, required minimum distributions, and that you can directly pay a their donation directly from your retirement account, so you can avoid paying taxes on it. So you don't have to take the distribution and then pay the nonprofit. There are ways to help you save money, and these are not widely known things that we really worry about. Do I have enough money? How much am I going to need? And how can I make this last? Well, these are other things that are out there that we want to make sure that you know about. Again, free of charge. We're in the process of setting this up for June 1st after the Shotsuke service across the courtyard in the mini chapel at 11:30. So please come. Mr. Dale Mizuno and his colleague for Prudential will kind of give us an overview of retirement and then also planning for retirement, and hopefully it'll be a benefit to all of us and as part of your being a member of the Stockton Sangha. And if you're here visiting and you're not a member but you want to come back, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, but information will be sent out. We'll get it out with the karma. We'll also send it out to all that receive the email distribution as well.
Okay, thank you, Darlene. And remember, if you want panko, Darlene's selling it to benefit FBWA, the Federation of Buddhist Women's Association, and it's a panko exclusive. You can't buy it in stores, so get your hands on it. Okay. So please enjoy your afternoon. Thank you again for your kind attendance today. And of course, you're more than welcome to join us in the social hall for coffee and fellowship following today's service. So thank you again for coming. And please feel free to visit the Nokotsudo before you leave. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.